You are watching the broadcast of the El Paso County Commissioners Court meetings. Commissioners Court meetings are held every Monday at 9:30 a.m. on the third floor of the El Paso County Courthouse, located at 500 East San Antonio in downtown El Paso. These meetings are open to the public. The meeting will start momentarily.
Commissioner Andrew Haggerty would like to invite you to his weekly breakfast meeting that takes place every Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. at Danny's Diner, located at 4690 Trans Mountain Road. Every week he has a different speaker who will be discussing topics of interest for the community. So if you live in the Northeast, West Side, or anywhere else in the county, come and join us for the breakfast meeting.
The County of El Paso Public Works Department is offering sandbags at no cost or requirements to the public and are available 24 hours a day. The location of the county facilities are the following: Road and Bridge Fabens Warehouse, 1331 North Fabens Street, Fabens, Texas 79838. Road and Bridge Canutillo Warehouse, 191 Canutillo Avenue, Canutillo, Texas 79835. Road and Bridge Montana Warehouse, 14698 Van Lane, El Paso, Texas 79938.
The Information Technology Department would like to remind users not to take the bait. Phishing is an attempt to obtain sensitive information such as usernames, passwords, and credit card details, often for malicious reasons by masquerading as a trustworthy entity in electronic communications. Phishing emails may contain links to websites that are infected with malware. Remember, do not open attachments or click on links from untrusted sources. Never send personal information in an email, and keep your firewall and antivirus software updated.
Did you know the County of El Paso's Purchasing Department is responsible for ensuring that all items and services needed by various county departments are purchased in the manner required by the state of Texas? Whether through formal sealed bids or smaller dollar quotations, the county purchasing team is dedicated to finding the best contracting return on your taxpayer dollars. Additionally, the purchasing department is responsible for the tracking of inventory within the county and properly disposing surplus through public auctions. For questions about how to become a vendor and compete for county contracts, or to learn more about public auctions, please contact us at telephone number 915-546-2048.
Did you know that you can save money on the cost of your medications? And doing so is easy. In 2015, the County of El Paso launched the prescription discount card program from coast to coast. The cards are available to all El Paso County residents free of charge, and everyone qualifies. You can pick up a card at any county office location, Walgreens, Walmart, CVS, or Target pharmacies, or simply print the card at www.coastrx.com. Happy savings! Did you know that the County of El Paso's fixed asset control and inventory disposal is handled through the purchasing department? Throughout the course of each business year, the county holds live public auctions to dispose of aged equipment, vehicles, furniture, and other items that are no longer needed. To find out about upcoming auctions or to learn more about the county's inventory disposal process, contact the purchasing department at telephone number 915-546-2048.
Sheriff Richard D. Wiles, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Community Services Section, and Explorer Post 2005 present the 8th Annual Haunted House. For a spooky thrill, visit the Sheriff's Office Haunted House at 3850 Justice Drive. Opening day is Friday, October the 13th, and will be open every Friday through Sunday to include Halloween Day for the month of October. Operating hours will be 6 p.m. through 12 p.m. $10 for adults, $8 for children 12 and under, with everyone getting $1 off with a canned food donation. All proceeds to benefit the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, Explorer Post 2005, a non-profit organization.
The 346 District Court Judge Angie Juarez Barril started the El Paso Veterans Treatment Court program in 2012 for veterans and active service members that have been arrested and charged with a felony or misdemeanor criminal offense. To be considered for the specialty court, the statutory criteria includes be a veteran or current member of the United States Armed Forces, including a member of the Reserves, National Guard, or State Guard, and suffer from a brain injury, mental illness, or mental disorder, including PTSD, or be a victim of military sexual trauma, all occurring or resulting from military service. Call Sylvia Serna, Veterans Program Director, at 915-546-2119, or email her at sserna@epcounty.com for any information.
Financial Recovery is a division under the Budget and Fiscal Policy Department. The Financial Recovery Division regains monies from those who have exhausted resources throughout the judicial process. The authorization for the recovery of spent resources is by court order. These are resources initially funded by taxpayers. Financial Recovery Division's goal is to assist in making the county and taxpayers whole by replenishing funds into the budget to optimize services to the public. For more information, please visit the El Paso County website.
You are watching the broadcast of the El Paso County Commissioners Court meetings. Commissioners Court meetings are held every Monday at 9:30 a.m. on the 3rd floor of the El Paso County Courthouse, located at 500 East San Antonio in downtown El Paso. These meetings are open to the public. The meeting will start momentarily.
Today is Monday, October 30th, 2017. Commissioners Court is meeting in regular session. Will you please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The call for consent. The consent agenda is composed of items 3A through 3R. Are there any items that members of the court or the public would like to consider separately, please?
Commissioners, any items you'd like pulled from the consent agenda? Hearing none, move to approve.
So moved.
Could we have a second, please?
Commissioner Leon seconded the item.
Pardon?
Commissioner Leon seconded the item.
Okay, and who
I
made
made
the
the
motion?
motion.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Pettis is absent. Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 4, resolutions. 4A, approve and adopt a resolution declaring the month of October 2017 as El Paso County Employees Combined Charities Campaign Month in El Paso County, Texas.
Good morning. If I could invite those who are here to accept the resolution to step up to the podium, please. It's my honor to read this resolution. Whereas the El Paso County Employees Combined Charities Campaign provides county employees the opportunity to demonstrate their generosity and commitment to helping others. And whereas the El Paso Combined Charities Campaign raises funds to help those in need, the hungry, the sick, the less fortunate, families in crisis, and other worthwhile causes. And whereas the El Paso Combined Charities Campaign has raised through generosity of county employees over $871,830 since its inception in 1994. And whereas the El Paso Combined Charities Campaign has set a fundraising goal of $45,000 for fiscal year 2017. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the El Paso County Judge and Commissioners Court that November 2017 be known as El Paso County Employees Combined Charities Campaign Month, and encourage all employees to continue to demonstrate their commitment and generosity to care enough to share. Signed this 30th day of October 2017 by the Honorable El Paso County Commissioners Court.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye, but we need to fix the agenda, or the agenda, because it says October, not November.
Pardon?
In here it says October, not November, so other than that, just a correction, but aye.
Okay, so you want to correct the resolution in the month of November 2017?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Thank you. And judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Honorable Judge Vote and Commissioners. My name is Christina Sanchez with the Human Resources Department. Thank you for adopting this resolution and supporting the Employees Combined Charities Campaign. We're very excited to partner with United Way this upcoming year. This is a great way for employees to contribute to a charity of their choice. Our goal in partnership with United Way is, like you mentioned, to raise $45,000. This year, every employee will receive a donation form and a brochure, including those employees from the Sheriff's Office. They can pledge a minimum of $2 or even make select payroll deductions. This campaign is good for 1 year. It becomes effective in 2018. And the deadline to submit donations to HR is November 18th. We'll gladly pick up contributions, or they may simply forward them to HR. And it now is my pleasure to introduce to you Rebecca Gutierrez from United Way. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you all for having me. My name is Rebecca Gutierrez, and I'm the fundraising assistant at United Way. United Way is the fiscal manager for the county campaign, and I want to thank you all for the adoption of your resolution. And I know that we are going to have a very strong campaign this year, so thank you so much for your generosity.
And thank you for partnering with the county. I know we have a very long list of organizations that employees can select from. Do we know how long that list is by chance? I'm sure there's...
I would say over
hundreds.
200, 300. There's so many in this brochure, so.
And I'm always really happy to see the amount of money that comes out of the county because of our generous employees. And so thank you to those that make that commitment to our community. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I would love to shake your hand. Can we give them a round of applause, please, for the employees that joined?
Item 5, public comment.
I believe we have one member of the public here to speak this morning, Mr. Pierre-Andre Uzarga. Good morning, Mr. Uzarga.
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge. It's October and I was looking over the agenda and I feel a bit, I'm perturbed. Quite honestly, I feel like I've been lied to. And it's not a good feeling, especially when I've devoted a lot of my time to come up and educate and inform my community. It doesn't matter to me how bizarre or how unorthodox or how colorful I may be. Sometimes I give it to you straight, sometimes I draw a picture, but I feel like I've been lied to.
Did you read item 10?
I'm sorry?
Did you read item 10?
Say again?
Did you read item 10?
No, I did not. Am I missing something?
You may want to read item 10, but go ahead.
If I'm mistaken, then it's my mistake. But like, let me give you my concern. Last week, I reported, and I'm reporting to my probation officer once a month. Now all of a sudden, I'm supposed to report weekly. Now it's not the first time something like this has occurred. And I feel like people are trying to keep me from speaking, from using my voice. You already took away my daughter. My baby mama's married to a county sheriff deputy. Commissioner Leon and I were supposed to sit down and speak. But a day before the meeting, it was canceled. You know, these are my concerns. I don't know, I haven't received any phone calls from you all. There's no communication. I do a lot of the communicating. Now my mind is on that agenda. If you all are gonna take the credit, that's fine. That's fine. But don't play me downstairs. Because I'm the type of person that goes up to, you know, if there's beef, I'm the type of person that'll go to your door, to your office. You know, Your Honor, may I have a few minutes of your time? There's some concerns that I wish to discuss with you. I'm not the type that just turns my back and leaves it. I'm always watching my back. Always watching my back. Now, I may make a mistake. I'm not perfect. However, I'm going to use this time then to ask the county, don't play me behind my back. Do not do that, because you're going to make an enemy of me. And I'm an American, I'm a Texan, I'm trying to be friendly. I always have been professional and respectful. I'm trying to keep my game that way, because I'm thinking 10 years down the road. We need to do this at the state level. I'm glad that I heard that. So at the state level is next then. Now El Paso's in a position where we could prove everybody else, look, we do know what we're doing. I just hope it's not cookie cutter. I just don't want a cookie cutter policy and procedure. That would be an insult to me. You all are telling me basically that I'm wasting my time. I'm not wasting my time. President Trump is tuning in. I communicate with his administration quite often because I'm thinking that far down the road. Governor Abbott. And it could have been Democrats at the White House. To me, it wouldn't matter. I would have communicated with them the same way. I'm here about the people, for the children. These are child care measures, border security measures, response measures. This is ways for us to save money, right? To save our quality of life. Now, I'll admit, I'm glued to that. I feel a little bit foolish, but then I want to let you all know, please don't play me behind my back. Don't do it. Do not do it. Mistaking my kindness for weakness will be your biggest mistake. And I thank you, Your Honor, for being so attentive. I really do appreciate that. And I appreciate everyone who has sat down with me. And I'm not bashing Commissioner Leon. He and I have spoken face to face. But like I said, I know there's a lot. I got arrested in March because there's some drug dealers who threatened my life. And instead of kicking down their door, I decided to write them a nasty letter. So I got pinched with a harassment charge. All right? That's the streets backlashing.
Time.
And so I'm trying to be a professional. And that's why I'm saying there's a lot of stuff going. I see some sheriffs and some detectives here in the back chit-chatting and stuff. I gave you all information on what's going on, and y'all are trying to use it against me. So I'm going to hang back and see what happens on this agenda. And forgive my aggression. It's my life, my shoes. And I am here for you all, despite what anyone says. Thank you for your time. Good day. God bless. And I'll see you in a week.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Thank you. You too, Your Honor.
I believe that is all for public comment, Ms. Pitek.
Thank you, Judge. Presentation item 6A. Receive a presentation from the Rio Grande Council of Governments regarding the reorganization and marketing of its Dispute Resolution Center.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Annette Gutierrez. I'm the Executive Director of the Rio Grande Council of Governments. And we do have a PowerPoint presentation for you.
It's up there.
Okay, great. All right. And our organization manages the Dispute Resolution Center on behalf of the county. And we are coming before you today because, as you can see on the agenda item, we are reorganizing the program. And we want to make you aware of those changes. The biggest change that we have made, which will have the greatest short-term impact, is that we are eliminating our Mediation Specialist 2 position, which was previously housed here at the courthouse. We did eliminate that position on October the 6th of this year. And the reason why we're doing that is because we want to use the savings from the personnel funds and move those into contractual to execute a marketing plan for the Dispute Resolution Center. And the purpose for this is because we want to see a higher utilization of the program itself. Now, before I get a little bit into the marketing plan, I do want to go over with you some items just as a brief reminder what the DRC is, when it did start, how it's funded, as well as showing you our revenues and expenditures, and finally what the number of cases that we've mediated over the years. The Dispute Resolution Center, often called as the DRC, is a project of El Paso County. It's under the administration of our organization, Rio Grande Council of Governments, and we provide an alternative in settling disputes through the process of mediation. Now, it was through the leadership of our previous 2 executive directors, Justin Ormsby. In 1998, he brought this program to the county, and through the recognition of the Commissioner's Court in 1988, the Council of Governments was tasked with establishing and operating, as well as administering the Alternative Dispute Resolution Program here in El Paso County. And in 1988, in July of '88, the services commenced, and they continued to be made available in El Paso County to ensure that residents have access to justice through an expeditious and inexpensive process. As you can see in your, excuse me, in your contract as part of the backup, under the responsibilities of the Council of Governments, we do have, excuse me, we have mediations for Courthouse as well as community-based mediation. So there it explains to you the different types of cases that we mediate on behalf of those 2 centers. Now, how does a Commissioner's Court, how are you all able to create this program? It's through the Civil Practice and Remedies Code. You have the ability to assess a fee anywhere from a penny to $15, which is the maximum. And all new civil suits are assessed as $15 fee, with the exception of the ones listed on your screen from A to D. And again, you all are the ones who decide how that fee is set and what the amount is. Now to go over some of the fees that we've collected over the years from the county, going back from 2014. As you can see here, there's some fluctuation in the funding. Obviously, no one knows how much how many people are going to be filing civil suits, how much money is going to be generated from that. So on average, we're looking at about $187,000 a year. And the reason why I think that between 15 and 16, it seems like there was a big jump, it's because we actually received our September funds in August, and so they pushed it into a new fiscal year. So we really don't receive funding in that amount. It's been several years since that has been as high as $200,000. And if you have questions for me, please stop me. I can answer those during the presentation. The court fees, as you can see, most of our fees are generated by district court, but there is also some funding that comes out of the county courts as well. Now, at the Council of Governments, we do assess fees as well. These are much more modest fees that are assessed. As you can see, between 2014 and 2017, we assess fees for family mediations. Those are at $100 a party. For a few years there, we were handling federal mediations, and those were assessed at $50. And I think through this marketing plan that we would want to execute, we're going to be looking at how we can better market ourselves to these federal agencies, because at this point, we're not really sure where else they're going to access that that avenue. So that's something we'll be looking at. We also have juvenile mediation fees. We did enter into a contract with the Juvenile Probation Department several years ago, and we assess a $30 fee for each juvenile mediation. And those are for those juveniles that are, or what are considered deferred prosecution. So we're not handling every type of juvenile case, it's just those that are eligible for deferred prosecution. And as you can see, there is a decline in the fees. And we had a meeting with JPD just last week, and in talking about that, overall, which is a good assessment, is that juvenile crime is on a decline. And so that is relative to the cases as well that we're handling. But we are looking at some initiatives that we're going to be undertaking, where we're going to really track closely the mediations that we have through some software that we have purchased already, so that way we can make sure that we give you a true assessment of what is happening with JPD and those juvenile cases. And finally, we have the neighborhood mediation. With neighborhood mediation, that is a $20 filing fee. And as stated in the contract, these are mediations that oftentimes are between neighbors, employers and employees, landlords or tenants, consumers and merchants, as well as other parties. And as you can see, in 2014 and 2015, we had a higher number of mediations. We did see a large volume of mediations that were brought to us by Regis Bernard, as well as OK Finance. And so merchants have been taking advantage of this program, and so that's something else we'll be looking at through our marketing plan to see how we can make consumers as well as businesses aware of this initiative. Any questions for me so far?
Yes.
Annette, I've got to say something because there are a lot of people that tune in and are watching.
Yes, sir.
And insofar as neighborhood mediation and community-based mediation, I think that it is a bargain. The fee is $20 a party.
Yes, sir. And actually, it's just $20 for the complainant, so the respondent isn't paying anything.
So I think in our marketing plan that we also remind our judges upstairs that this is available, and the general public, because I think one of the reasons people may shy away from it is because of the very low price.
Yes, sir. Definitely. And that's something that was telling that through the marketing plan as well, that this might be too good to be true. So
Great.
that's something that we're working on. Okay, so then we'll go on to our expenditures. Now, both Commissioner Leon and Commissioner Haggerty, I think, are very well acquainted with the program. We've talked about it in many meetings at the Board of Directors for the Council of Governments. But as in most programs, the most expensive endeavor is your personnel. And so in 2014 and 2015, we did have 3 full-time staff. And so you see the cost there as much as $154,000 for staff with benefits. And travel in 2014, that was at a higher amount, and that's because we were sending our mediators to a state conference. And one thing that I did neglect to mention is that the way that these mediations occur is either your mediator is either a staff person or a volunteer mediator. you need to go through a 40-hour basic mediation program. If you're going to do family mediation, then you need an additional 30 hours of training. And so our program does rely heavily on volunteers from the community. And so, but with the amount of staff that we had to scale back our travel in the sequential years. And so you'll see that reduction there. Under supplies and materials, that's just what it is. You'll see in 2014 and 2017 a higher utilization of funds, but that's because we're replacing our equipment between those years. Under total other costs, that's the rent cost. That's the majority of the cost there is our rent. With the Dispute Resolution Center at the Neighborhood Justice Center off Lockheed, we have three offices that we're manning, and so that's an expensive endeavor for the program, which is assessed by the Council of Governments. And then last, we do have our indirect cost. And at the Council of Governments, our indirect cost has been averaging between 32 to 33%. And so you'll see where that assessment is done there. Any questions? No? Okay.
And these mediations, you also have attorneys that participate in the program?
Yes, sir, we do. Yes, we have both, attorney and non-attorneys, yes, sir. Okay, for intakes, now this number here is just that. This is information that we're taking in. They're calling our office, they're asking information about mediation. And so what happens oftentimes is that we'll take this information in, but it doesn't necessarily get to the final step of the mediation. But we thought it was important to just show you these numbers to let you know the call volume that we're experiencing at the Dispute Resolution Center. And it's broken out between courthouse intakes, juvenile, as well as neighborhood. Now, cases mediated. Here you'll see between 2013 and 2017, the cases that we have mediated for the courthouse, juvenile, as well as neighborhood. And we know that we can do more. We know that we need to do more. Just like Commissioner Leon said, this is a service that's available to the community. Just thinking about all of the kind of conflict that anyone experiences in life, personally or professionally, we should make ourselves available for them to utilize our services to have some sort of resolution to whatever issue they're experiencing. And so these are very modest numbers with the with all three of our cases that we mediate. And you can definitely see as well what we're experiencing is a decline. This other number I think is important to mention, and we've only been capturing the data under neighborhood, and so that's a change that we'll be making to ensure that we're capturing that for courthouse as well. Under neighborhood, through our mediation specialist, and I'm sorry, I neglected to mention that we have Marisa Quintanilla here. She's our Regional Services Director. She manages the program. And then we have Yolanda Gomez, who's our mediation specialist at the Neighborhood Center. So if there's any questions that I may not be able to answer, these two ladies will. Now, what Ms. Gomez has done over the years is she has been able to conciliate the case before it actually goes to mediation. So she's actually working out a deal on the phone. And so this is what the numbers are, so we can show you how timely this effort is, because a lot of it is really case management over the phone, also acting as a referral for individuals in terms of whatever situation they may have. So knowing that we have these numbers under the cases that we've mediated, which again is modest at best, we know that we need to do a better job of letting people know who we are. And so in FY17, in the fourth quarter, we initiated a marketing plan through Midoff-Burton Partners. And the scope of work for Midoff-Burton was to develop a core mission for a marketing communications program for the DRC, also identify the target audiences to determine their touch points, build marketing strategies to achieve our objectives, as well as outline details of each strategy to include the creative and the rationale, and also determine what would be the most efficient media mix to deliver our message, and finally recommend controls to measure and monitor the program. And so the approach that Midoff-Burton took was identify our business goals, know where the gaps are, as well as provide insights in marketing, as well as looking at the brand and operational success. Under the business goals, I know it's obvious, but as stated, we want to increase the mediation caseload. And a good way, we think that's obviously a good way to assess the ADR success, if we're doing a good job on your behalf. But we're also, if with that happening, then we also can drive our fees. So we're not solely reliant on the $15 fee that's being assessed by the court. Other items that were considered as well is looking at our mediator training as another income stream, and perhaps even collaborating with the DRO where we could perhaps work on some pro se divorce cases. The research that was conducted here is pretty much telling you just what I've already mentioned in terms of when it was established, the filing fees, and also as well as what judges oftentimes are making the referrals. Under the Neighborhood Justice Center, we have the police, sheriff, justice of the peace, attorneys, or landlords. And then we also, the marketing plan also established that our competition are often private mediators who are attorneys. And interviews were conducted. And so you could see who was interviewed, what were some of the statements, as well as some specific quotes. Just quickly wanted to mention that, as I said, that some people felt like it's too good to be true, that the ADR has never been advertised before. Mediation is often considered a win-win as opposed to a win-lose. And one quote that was mentioned by a client was that when you're without experience, mediation is very helpful. It gave me the confidence to say this is not too bad. And then we also looked at, we also had Midoff look at some other competition. And so here's an assessment of what they reviewed in terms of other mediators coming from as well as from local, state, and national. And then we also showed what their market strengths were. And I think what's most telling is to identify to you what we see as the gaps. And that was identified through a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And again, just to go over a few of these, in terms of the strengths, we see that it's a faster alternative. Oftentimes we have a 2-week turnaround. We offer bilingual, and it's less expensive. Now on the weaknesses, some judges did express that they were cynics of the ADR process. Not all mediators are attorneys, and also fees are just not used for mediation. That was some of the items that were assessed. In terms of opportunities, we did see that we can create awareness on the program. We also want to look at building back our referrals from the police and JP, and then also looking at opportunities for credentialing service through the training that we'll be offering. Threats are going to be that the attorney mediators may push back with what we're looking at doing. The caseload may not grow, and then eventually the county may want to take back this program. The steps that we're identifying in terms of how we want to brand the program and have operational success is that we're looking at how we're going to brand our program specific to our goals, as well as identify market knowledge, which is going to identify the needs base for the consumer, create a customer value, and we're also going to be measuring that with some milestones. And then we want to just really create that brand trust where both the internal and external stakeholders really find value in the program that we offer. And then finally, we want to be able to execute the plan. So I'm here today to inform you that we are going to be expanding on the marketing strategies that were identified through the Midoff-Burton marketing plan. And what we're looking at is we're going to be creating awareness with the new brand. We're going to do public relations. We're going to have a new website design as well as the launch. We need to develop some exterior, interior brand signage. And then finally, with promotion, we want to look at how we can also do some additional media with Flex for budget, penetration, and frequency. And we're anticipating that these initiatives should cost us somewhere between $25,000 to $35,000. And the way that we're going to be able to fund this initiative, again, is because we're eliminating the mediation specialist 2 position here at the courthouse. Now, customer service, that's very important for the county. How are we going to ensure that we're still making that service available here at the courthouse? And what we've done so far is this. We've routed all of our calls from the 546-8189 number to the Council of Governments. We're using existing staff to schedule mediations. We are continuing to inform our district and county judges of the changes. We are on their agenda for the Council of Judges on November 30th to discuss our marketing plan. And we have actually converted our the Office 102B into a mediation room. Previously, the mediations were being done at the law library, so now we have a space dedicated just for that function. We have also received permission to use the Council of Judges conference room in case our parties need to caucus. And then our existing staff, the three of us, are here on site whenever a mediation is happening, so we'll be here for the beginning and the end. And then we're also going to be offering for the mediations to occur at either location. They don't have to be here at the courthouse. Perhaps both parties would rather be at our Lockheed office central, so we're going to make that available as well. And then finally, we're going to be using our volunteer meters to a much higher degree, where we're going to be utilizing them in terms of our training and presentations. And I think, and that concludes my presentation. So if you have any questions for me, I can answer those at this time.
Commissioners, any questions?
Just a clarification, and these are non-binding mediations?
Yes, sir, they are. Mm-hmm.
Just two quick questions on my end. I know the contract speaks to an advisory committee. Does that exist?
We will be having our advisory committee in November, and that day is going to be November the 15th, yes. Okay. And so the council is comprised of judges, mediators, commissioner. We also have a public at large.
Perfect. And if there's a member of the public that contacts you all and the location is an issue, like somebody lives far east or far west, do you all try to schedule any of those mediations in another location, like using one of our annexes? Or?
Well, you know, that's completely possible. What we've done in the past for Housing Authority, when we've had mediations, we actually have the mediations there at their location, and so that's something that we can do. It's not that's within our scope of work.
Perfect. Thank you. Any other questions? No? Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
County Administration, item 7, acknowledge termination of the Emergence Health Network Crisis Line, Crisis Mobile Outreach Services Agreement, contract number 2012-0221. EHN funding commitment of $100,000 has been transferred to the County EHN Legal Services Interlocal Agreement.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. We had an item on, I believe it was last week, to update our legal interlocal services with EHN. This is one of the two contracts that was replacing. We already previously accepted a termination letter on the ECI services, and now this is a termination of the crisis contract that the county had with EHN. So we'd ask for your approval, please.
And I know that EHN is here. Do you have any comments, Christine? No? Just... Okay. No worries. Okay.
No, just to let the court know, sorry, I should say this. Hi, Christy Darty, CEO for EHN. Services will not be compromised. I think that's clear to say. The $100,000 is still within the budget. The services will not change at all.
Perfect. Thank you.
Move to approve.
Second.
Was that Commissioner Pettis and the judge?
I move to acknowledge the termination of the agreement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then that
second.
was the judge. Thank
We
you.
have to vote on acknowledging.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
If I vote no, does that mean I didn't acknowledge it? Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Judiciary and Corrections. Item 8, approve and authorize the county judge to accept the Homeland Security Interoperable Communication Grant funded by the Office of the Governor in the amount of $210,085 for a period of 12 months. In addition, request to sign the resolution required for funding. The grant is to purchase 50 P25 handheld portable radios. No county match required. Contract number 2017-0708.
Good morning, Deputy Alvarez.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Armando Alvarez with the Sheriff's Office. Here we are again. We were able to obtain the award from the Office of the Governor for the $210,085 to proceed and continue with replacing all of the end-of-life radios that we have out there in the field for our patrol officers and our detectives. So I ask that the court accept this award so we can continue and hopefully finish this project.
So move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leone?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Litigation, justice, and law enforcement. Item number 9, discuss and take appropriate action regarding county participation in the El Paso Community Collaborative submission of a grant to the Mental Health Grant Program for justice-involved individuals as directed by Senate Bill 292, 85th Texas Legislature. Further, authorize the county judge to sign the letter of commitment to participate in the collaborative. County Attorney Opinion Number OP 17-409.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Joel Bishop with County Administration. The goal of SB 292 is a recidivism reduction and commitment wait times, to reduce commitment wait times. So we're asking the county administration to sign a letter of support in the county's partnership with EHN and the hospital, as well as the city. This grant, the city's involvement is their implementation of a CIT team, a crisis intervention team, which they've already budgeted for. So that would count as their matching funds. The grant does require matching funds. The county's 1622 funds, we believe, will count as a match in this grant as well. So we aren't asking the commissioners for any additional funds that they haven't already budgeted. EHN is also partnering with that. So we believe that the total budget for this grant would be roughly $1.4 million. We believe we've already exceeded the matching requirements for the grant. So Jose Landeros with Commissioner Perez's office did a good job identifying high utilizers of the jail. There's been a pretty consistent, from year to year, pretty consistent identification of those arrested 5 or more times, between 50 and 100 specific defendants arrested 5 or more times with a mental health flag. We'd like to use this as an opportunity to target those individuals to potentially reduce recidivism in that group. And also with the police department's practice of the CIT team, I think it's going to be a beneficial effort for law enforcement as well, and teaching them to better deal with those with mental health issues on the street, and also giving them resources and education on where to refer those or defer those cases. Any questions with that? I do have EHN.
Any questions, Commissioner?
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to thank you, Joel, and thank EHN, and of course Jose and Vince's office. I think the CIT program is a program that's been long overdue, and finally the stars are aligned, and we have folks at the city. I want to thank Alexandra Anello, who actually put in the funding request at the city for the CIT program. And I'm glad to see that we're able to, at the county, also participate and try to draw down some state dollars for this program. I think I mean, we're the only large county that doesn't have a CIT in place right now, and it's something that we definitely need. And so I want to thank Christy and her team for the work that they're doing, and of course your office and everybody else who's involved.
Thank you, Commissioners.
And I move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leone?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 10, approve and authorize the 34th Judicial District Attorney to establish and implement the First Chance Program with the assistance of the Criminal Justice Coordination Department, CJC, the El Paso Police Department, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, and other law enforcement agencies, which allows qualified individuals who are detained for misdemeanor possession of a marijuana offenses to enter and complete the program to avoid an arrest or a criminal charge.
Good morning, Mr. Esparza.
Good morning, Judge. Commissioners, what I wanted to do is get your approval so we could proceed on this First Chance program. It deals specifically with possession of marijuana cases, misdemeanors. So you probably know this, but the public may not. If you have anywhere from 0 to 2 ounces, it's a Class B misdemeanor. And anywhere from 2 to 4 ounces of marijuana, it is a Class A misdemeanor. The majority of the cases that we get are much less than 2 ounces. We're talking less than an ounce, less than a gram. Very small amounts of marijuana that we're dealing with. So what we did is we studied the year of 2016, and we had over 2,600 cases. Of those 2,600 cases, we have 700 people who we would classify as first offenders. Now, these are people who were arrested solely on the possession of marijuana charge, nothing more. So there wasn't a possession of marijuana arrest plus a resisting, or possession of marijuana charge plus a carrying a weapon, possession of marijuana and a DWI, solely possession of marijuana. There were about 700 cases. So we're going to have about 700 to about 1,000 cases a year. So we, with the help of many in the community, we started looking at how do we process those cases more smartly. So we've come up with this First Chance program, which we'd like your approval. Before I tell you the program, because I'll forget to do this, I wanted to just thank Betsy Keller for her leadership and Joel Bishop. They've done a great job to make sure that we had the resources in order to bring this together. Judge Trejo and the rest of the county court judges have been extremely helpful. Amy Lechuga, as well as Greg Allen from the police department, and Sheriff Wild, our county sheriff. So CJC department, IT, the auditor, and this intern we had one summer, Marcos Rodriguez, who helped us put our numbers together. So all I'm asking you is to look at basically those 700 to 1,000 cases a year. I believe, as the DA, that we can hold these small amounts of possession of marijuana cases, these offenders, accountable without having to go through the formalized process of the criminal justice system and really spend the kind of money we're going to have to spend for that intervention. The program basically results in this process. The officer at the point of arrest would decide whether or not that person is a first offender, and we've told them what the rules are. The first offender would be allowed to either participate in the program or be arrested. If the first offender decides that the program, if they want to do that program, then what would happen is we wouldn't arrest them, we wouldn't charge them. They have 5 business days to report to CJC. If they do that and pay the $100 administrative fee and take 8 hours of community service, the charge, we will not arrest them and we will not formally charge them. If they don't either want to participate, they'll be arrested and charged with possession of marijuana. If they don't if they don't make it to CJC within 5 days, they'll be arrested and charged with possession of marijuana. If they don't complete the program for whatever reason, they'll be arrested and charged with possession of marijuana. We're hopeful that the program will be successful, and eventually we'll start looking at those cases, those possession of marijuana cases that are now in our courts, that we could then funnel through this program. But initially, we're going to use this First Chance program only for those who are currently arrested. And then we'll kind of see if we can work the kinks out, if there are any, and then we can proceed. Both the El Paso Police Department and the Sheriff's Department have been totally supportive in helping us make sure that I think we've worked out all of the potential kinks in the system, and so I think we're going to be able to implement this. We were hoping October 1. We had a few bumps in the road. We're hoping for November 1st. With your approval, we're very close to implementing it, but we won't be implementing it on November 1. But probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we will implement it with the assistance of the police department and the sheriff's department. Do you have any questions?
Commissioner. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I've got 3 questions. The program is going to also, if somebody is, I won't say arrested, but approached, is this case reviewed by the DIMS program on a 24-hour basis?
Well, the officer would never approach somebody unless they have probable cause. If they have probable cause and they make the stop and they have them in custody, certainly they'll determine whether or not you qualify for the program. They have to call us through the DIMS program, which is our DA that's on duty 24/7. They have a conversation because we're going to have to run their rap sheet to determine whether or not they're first offenders. If we determine that they're first offenders, both the police department and the sheriff's department will then proceed to giving them the pamphlet that's necessary. They'll be required to sign, say that they want to participate, and then we would expect them at CJD within 5 business days.
Okay, and it also lists here that other law enforcement agencies are also involved. Does this include DPS?
It doesn't include DPS or other agencies, but the reason I put that in your backup was so that when I wanted to indicate to you that it is our hope to include all law enforcement agencies. We haven't done that yet. Well, we're going to start. About 90% of my business is with the El Paso Police Department. About 10% of my business is with the Sheriff's Department. And so we're going to start the process with them. Once we have it working and it looks like it's something that we can do in a smart way, then we're going to expand it to the other agencies. And as I tell you, we are hopeful. There are cases pending in our county courts right now. And if you are a first offender as we define it, you could avail yourself to this program, which would then we would then dismiss the charge. And as I say, for those that we arrest on the street, we won't arrest or charge them.
And I guess one more clarification. For the offenders, of those 700 to 1,000 that you speak about, are they mostly very young offenders?
Most of them are under 25 years of age.
Thank you.
What really has to be clear is that in order for you to be qualified, we arrest you solely on the possession of marijuana. That's it. If there's an accompanying charge, then we are not going to offer you the program. That would be the same if you were in county court and you were arrested on multiple charges, then you would not be eligible. So we still have a few kinks to work out. I'm sure there's going to be a few more twists and turns as we implement the program, but we've tried to think our way through that process, and so I think we're prepared now to implement it.
Thank you.
Mr. Bettis?
Thank you, District Attorney, really for your leadership on a lot of these programs, to help first-time offenders who make mistakes, and often these mistakes lead to lifelong consequences when individuals have a criminal record, for the rest of their life, and students, whether they apply for college or financial aid, this often poses a problem. I just wanted to clarify a couple things. I guess number one, for individuals that are currently in the system already who may already be facing charges, and let's say from a review from your office, they would have qualified for this, but have already been, I guess, charged and are still awaiting a final disposition from the courts. Have you looked into that, whether or not this could be extended to them as well, since they would have qualified had this been in place? Or are you able to do that, identify the individuals currently going through the system?
For those who have pending charges, once we've implemented this program for probably something close to 90 days, we think after 90 days we'll have a good idea about how the process works and make sure it works smoothly. Then we will start looking at the pending cases. And those who have pending cases, I'm sure lawyers will be approaching us, their lawyers will be approaching us, and if they qualify as we define a first offender, we will allow them in. So even though they were arrested at a time when the program was not in place, if they qualify, we will allow them to come in. But we're not going to do that immediately until we really have an idea of how the program is going to go forward. I don't think it'll take us more than 90 days. That's our hope. And then after 90 days, we're going to look at the numbers, to look at the process. I'm assuming we're going to be able to give it the thumbs up, and then we will proceed to try to look at those cases that are pending now. The trick will be just like anything. For instance, let's say you're in court right now and you were arrested on possession of marijuana and a resisting arrest. And for whatever reason, or let's say a DWI, and for whatever reason we dismiss the DWI. So would you be qualified for the program now? Our answer is no. You have to be or have arrested solely for the possession of marijuana. There are enough of those cases. There are at least between 700 to 1,000 of those cases. And you have, through your budget process, budgeted for having someone extra at CJC. And we can recoup some of those funds and allow those people in. And it has to do with just an accountability, holding that offender accountable. But we think it's a more complicated, I believe it's a more complicated offender when we're arresting you for possession of marijuana and an additional charge. But those who are arrested solely for possession of marijuana, whether it was in the program or your pending case, we're hoping we will be able to process you through this program, through the 8 hours of community service.
Thank you. And I'm sure that there are other jurisdictions across the state and across the country that have implemented similar type of programs.
We copied this from Houston, Texas. They actually have evolved into something else. We won't do that, but we took a really good look at this program, and we think it makes sense. It makes sense for a variety of reasons. One is we are holding the offender accountable. Two, the amount of marijuana we're talking about here is really a small amount. The kind of amount that, for instance, this is a typical case for us. The park is closed and you're in the park. The officer approaches you. He smells the marijuana. That's probable cause for him to detain you. He finds the marijuana in your pocket, and we're probably talking about, half a joint, a small amount. It's possession. It's against the law. It's a Class B. We arrest you. Once we make that arrest, there are all sorts of processes that start. So we're going to arrest you. We're going to handcuff you. We're going to put you in the car. We're going to start the DIMS process. We're going to book you, and then that case is going to enter the system. Besides the amount of time and inconvenience it is to the offender itself, right? There's also the amount of time that we take the law enforcement officer off the street. So we're hoping we won't have to do that anymore on these small amount of marijuana cases. Plus the amount of time it takes us once that case enters the criminal justice system. So that's the filing of the case, all of the settings, on the judge's dockets. And there are quite a few of these possession of marijuana cases pending on the court's docket. So we're hoping we can alleviate that situation so we can address other misdemeanor cases.
And I guess, and how much time do you envision right now? You described how cumbersome it is for a police officer to really get back out in the streets under the current system. Right now, I guess, what would be the biggest difference? Would they not have to file a police report? Would they just contact your office? I guess, how much time, is it that we're looking at that could be saved in terms of getting police?
I can't tell you exactly the amount of time, but I'll tell you that's a really smart question, because that's exactly the conversation we entered into with the police department and the sheriff's department. We're hoping that now both the sheriff's department and the police department can use their two-finger live scan, which means we can run you based on that two-finger live scan and determine whether or not you have been convicted of any offense in this that we are aware of. If you were convicted of any offense, you are not going to be eligible. So we're hoping we can do that at the scene. And we are also hoping at the scene that we can resolve the issue of whether or not you want to participate or not participate. If you want to participate, then the officer will give you the form, you'll sign it, and then we'll be on our way. The officer will still have to make a police report, but it is a simplified report. He still has to put the reason he detained you and why he had you in custody, which resulted in finding the possession of marijuana in your possession. He'll still have to file that report. Plus, he or she confiscated the marijuana, so he's got to tag that. The El Paso Police Department anticipates we are purchasing some lock boxes for him. So they're anticipating then the officer putting it in the lockbox, and at the end of his shift, then putting it in the evidence room in case we need it for later purposes. If the offender either doesn't participate, doesn't show up, or doesn't make it through this, it's 60 days. We anticipate 60 days is more than enough time for the offender to do the 8 hours of community service. And I must say, while I'm at it, that I think the $100 administrative fee is more than reasonable.
Okay, and I guess regarding that, I don't know if this would be a question more for administration. Do they have to pay that up front, or is there, I know we've often had this discussion regarding several other collection issues. Are they able to pay that in installments, let's say like $25 a month, something like that?
I think we talked to Joel about how we wanted to do that.
Good morning, Commissioners. Joel Bishop with Executive Director of Justice. The goal is to collect the fee immediately up front. So that's the goal. That's where we're going to start. I think in the event that a defendant shows up and they can't pay, but they did show up, they're in compliance, we're going to take that case and talk to the district attorney's office about what action they would like us to take there. That's where we're at. Our goal is to collect, all of those fees, but we also want to have some level of flexibility, and we're going to try to work that out as far as in the first 90 days of the process, so we can solidify that. And so when we do get that down, we will let you know as far as what process we've chosen. So is that okay?
Thank you. Yes.
CJC has been really helpful. We anticipate if you don't see us, if you don't come to us like in the first 3 business days that you should have, we're going to call you. We'd like for the offender to be held accountable. We would like the offender to be able to successfully complete the program. But there's only so much we can do. And if you don't, we are going to really be aggressive about executing the warrants if you don't show up. So we feel like just as a community, we've given you this opportunity. We've held you accountable, and so we expect you to complete your end of the bargain.
Well, again, I'm sorry. I just want to say again, thank you, District Attorney, for your leadership and for everybody involved in this effort. It's very important. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the program pans out. So thank you very much for your leadership.
Commissioner Haggerty.
I think a lot of it makes sense. I'm for it. The only question or issue I've got is giving the, I guess, does the stopping officer have the sole right to do it? Because if I've listened to Commissioner's Court today, because I know every 19-year-old kid's watching right now. So if I watch Commissioner's Court, I know this option's available, and I get arrested and it's my first time, and I say, hey, can I do that program? And no, you can't do it. Does the officer have the right to impede the program? Do they have the ability to say, hey, he didn't give me this option, but I'd like to do it? Because I know you said we might be giving that option later. I just don't want, if we get a hardline police officer stopping them and saying, I don't believe in this program and I'm not for this, that they're banned from the ability to do it. That's my only question.
We thought of that circumstance, and both the police department and the sheriff's department are going to have a blanket rule. If you qualify, you qualify.
Okay.
It won't be up to the officer. You are a first offender as we define it, and you will be allowed the opportunity to participate. Okay. If at the scene you say no for whatever reason, well then you say no. We will arrest and charge you.
Right. No, okay. I just wanted to make sure we didn't have like one guy out there. I'm solely going to stop crime, and not letting people do it when everyone else has the opportunity. That's the only thing where I could see some issues. But I think it makes sense, and I'm for the program. So.
We really are hoping to have the offender be successful. We like to hold them accountable. We think this is a smart way to hold them accountable without really having the additional expense of the really intensive criminal justice intervention that we normally do. But I will tell you this, though, as an office, we are going to hold a really hard line. It is possession of marijuana and solely possession of marijuana. So if you get arrested for something else and possession of marijuana, you will not qualify. And usually what happens is that if, let's say we arrest you for DWI, we'll find the marijuana because we arrested you for DWI. While this program really looks at those people who we arrested solely for the small amounts of possession of marijuana. Let's say on a domestic violence case, the officer arrives at the home, he decides to make an arrest of domestic violence. As he's arresting you, he's searching you. You have marijuana in your pocket, so we're going to arrest you for both the marijuana and the assault family violence case. You will not qualify. We are going to hold, we've talked to everyone involved, and we're really going to be tough about holding the line on that. Even holding the line on just possession of marijuana cases, those are $700 to $1,000 a year, for sure. And so it's enough, and we think those offenders are a different type of offender, and we think holding them accountable in this different way is smart.
Commissioners, I would, again, Joel Bishop, Executive Director of Justice, I would just like to commend Jaime's efforts here. I was very pleased to see that they were working on this. I'm glad to be a part of it. I've had the privilege of working on these efforts with other states. I've seen outcomes from other states, and they're very positive. I think this is a good effort. And I also wanted to emphasize the work that the that the Judicial Metrics Group has done, which has given us the ability to at least get some estimates on cost avoidance, which is going to be significant for the county. There's two major things we're avoiding here, well, really three. You've got the law enforcement time, you've got the booking cost to book somebody in the jail, and you've also got the system cost to process a case. And that's something that has already been at least preliminarily quantified by the group that Betsy led. The estimate, even if a conservative estimate is if we save $300 per case as a system, we're into the hundreds of thousands in savings depending on how many cases come in, we're between 1 and 300,000 in savings. And I think that's something we'll be able to report to you on in the future, is the cost avoidance that this program brings, let alone the other benefits that come with a program like this. So I'm glad to be a part of it and to show my support to the work that Jaime has done.
One other quick question. Just one other quick question. Constables' offices are included in this or no?
Who?
The constables, just in case that happens?
Not at the moment. We're going to start with the Sheriff's Office and the El Paso Police Department. Once we know that we think we can start operating smartly, we've worked out the kinks, then we will expand. But right now, we're talking to the Sheriff's Department and the El Paso Police Department. Once we get it going, then it depends. And those programs that are not part of DIMS make it more complicated for us to do it as well.
Yep. Thank you very much, District Attorney. I think this is a definite step in the right direction, and I want to thank you and Joel and again Betsy. It's great to see some of the programs that are coming about, some very progressive policies that we're setting here in the county, and so thank you for your leadership. I had a question about the process, and so if somebody is arrested and put into this program, they're not going to have a conviction on their record, and so I would imagine there's going to be some type of database that you guys have for in the future if somebody is arrested a second time for a small possession of marijuana and after they finish the program or whatever. If somebody recommits the crime in the future, how will you know that person went through this program, and how will your officer know?
That's a good question. We've worked on that. One of the things we're going to do first when we make the arrest is determine whether or not the person is qualified.
Right.
Okay, if they're qualified, what that really means is they've never been convicted of any charge. Mm-hmm. So if they don't have a conviction, then they're qualified, and all the other circumstances. So we're hoping that, one, we will be able to identify those people who are eligible. We are making it only available to those at a one-time shot. Mm-hmm. So we will keep a database in that regard. But on the other hand, for instance, one of the things I've instructed, and I'm glad you asked me that question because I can tell you and those who are listening, we aren't telling you won't have a clean record. What we promise is we won't arrest you and we won't charge you. All right? If you complete the program, you won't be arrested, you won't be charged. Right? I didn't say you had a clean record. You won't be arrested and you won't be charged. And we're hoping that we can keep track of those who have come through the program. Honestly, my experience is once these people have been touched by law enforcement the first time, we don't usually see them again. I'm not too concerned about the possibility of having repeat first offenders. Will somebody sneak by? It's a possibility. But really knowing my experience with how these first offenders will react to what happened to them, I don't think that's really a big problem for us. But we are trying to keep track so that we don't have anybody coming through the program more than once. It is a possibility, but the uniqueness here is that this first offender population, this first offender population is unique in their subsequent actions. Usually one touch by law enforcement is enough. And we are still holding them accountable. They still have to do their 8 hours of community service. They still have to pay the administrative fee, but we don't have to do the more complicated intervention, right? I think it's good all around. And I would not be doing this program if some way I thought we were somehow compromising the community safety. I don't think that's the issue here. I think this program is still holding the offender accountable. We're not letting you get away with it, but it's smart. It's a smart way to do that. So I am pleased with how this program has evolved.
I agree, and I'm looking forward to seeing the results as well. Thank you.
Any other questions, commissioners? I too want to commend all those that have been involved in this process, from the Sheriff's Office, PD, your office, Joel. This, I'm sure, is not an easy feat to get all those agencies to come together and make this happen. It is a step in the right direction. I'm sure we have many other things that we can continue to work on in the future, efficiency-wise, but this is wonderful. In terms of the public, is there a way for them to contact you? Should they have any questions, an email or a phone number if they want to figure out if they qualify for the program? Or
they certainly can contact the office. We will, I think we'll be back in 90 days to talk to you about it, and so we can reach out one more time. The office number is 546-2059. It's from our standpoint, the first 90 days is a pilot project. If for some reason this really goes south, which I don't think that's going to happen, we will come back to report to you. But we would like to come back in 90 days and tell you this is how many offenders we've seen, and this is how we treated them, and these are the people that have completed it, those who didn't complete it, and so we can have an idea. And I know that Joel, one of the things he's very big on, something that's important to him, is keeping our stats so that we know. I mean, like I tell you, the lack of intervention, certainly from the offender's part, seems like a really good idea, even though they're being held accountable, right? But the lack of this intense criminal justice intervention is also smart for the criminal justice system, because we spend, you know, we spend about the same amount of time and effort on a possession of marijuana case as we would in many other cases. And if we can use those resources in other cases, and where we know that the person that we're allowing into the program is a first offender, I think that really makes us moving in the direction of being smart on the resources that we have available to us. The last thing I would tell you, Judge, is one, we're glad to have the opportunity to do this, and I certainly would ask for your approval. One agency I did not mention is the County Attorney's Office, and Joanne Bernal has been very supportive of this, and her legal advice and that of her staff has been extremely helpful. And finally, I would just tell you that I think the leadership of Betsy has been really helpful. And when we initially started on these meetings, Judge Trejo was very active. This process has taken us a while and has evolved, but we would not be successful, certainly without Betsy's leadership or Judge Trejo's involvement in making sure that this program has got to the point that we are. In 90 days, I'll be back, and you can ask me questions, and hopefully I can tell you everything was thumbs up. I think it will be.
Mr. Hargrove, I believe you had a comment.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Wally Hargrove from the Office of Budget and Fiscal Policy. So upon approval today on next week's budget amendment, we will have the appropriate accounts set up. As Mr. Bishop and your district attorney mentioned, we did budget a position within CJC for this, for the salary and fringe benefit. We will have some operating costs that were not set up when we adopted the budget. This, because of the nature of this fee, this is a fee that is permissive for the county to establish. It's being established after the fiscal year. The county auditor can certify a new revenue source, and we will set it up in its own fund in accordance with the statute as a new revenue source. It will be a transfer out of that revenue source and a transfer into the general fund to reimburse up to the amount of 100% of the expenditures. Your year one cost will be a little less than the original estimates of $73,000 because we're starting it up after 30 days of the fiscal year. There's about $14,000 in one-time setup fees that will be non-reoccurring in year two and thereafter. After that point, on an ongoing basis, it'll run just under $60,000 a year. So with about 598 to 600 cases a year, if these trends continue, it should meet and exceed the costs for which this program covers from within the general fund. However, we will have to retain any amount over the cost in that separate fund because it can only be used for that purpose. So as we identify additional costs that may be in other areas, we could potentially transfer and cover some additional costs related to this program specifically. Otherwise, those funds will stay in the special revenue account in excess of the cost, because every few years, I take it, there'll be some program expenditures like replacement of the cash boxes. It'd be nice if they'd last forever, but the the boxes where the contraband stays. We may expand the program, need more boxes, and those funds could be used for that purpose. So that'll be on next week's budget amendment.
Any last questions, commissioners?
Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 11, approve a resolution and order authorizing that appropriate action be taken to remove and/or dispose of the abandoned mobile home and/or manufactured home that is obstructing a public roadway at or near the intersection of Vista del Este Street and Santee Esteban Lane.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. My name is Martin Morales. I'm a lieutenant with the Sheriff's Office. I'm here to ask you all to allow me to get rid of this eyesore. It's been there for several months. We haven't been able to try to find an owner on this. There's no identification markings on it. It has now been tagged by the local neighborhood there, and I think they've even started to put their trash next to it in hopes that somebody would come and collect it. I've also been advised by a subcontractor with the El Paso Water Utilities just last week that they're going to be putting a water line through there. And I asked them what they would do with it in hopes that they would get rid of it for me, and they said they'd just bulldoze it over to the side. So I'm here if you all have any questions in regards to this.
And any questions, commissioners? I know that the county has a contract to remove vehicles that are in our roadway, but this presents a very unique situation. So I don't know if there are any additional comments. Commissioner Leon?
Lieutenant, I've got a question, and it surprised me to see it on the agenda. I thought that the Sheriff's Department has that authority to remove a safety concern.
Go ahead.
Carlos Madrid, Assistant County Attorney. The issue with this one is the Sheriff's Department has authority under abandoned motor vehicles. They can remove abandoned motor vehicles. However, mobile homes and/or manufactured homes don't fall under that definition of an abandoned motor vehicle. And so, looking at the statutes and the Commissioner's Court authority and Attorney General's opinions, really the only way to go and remove this would be an actual Commissioner's Court order. Under the court's authority or authority and responsibility to maintain the roads and keep it clear of obstructions.
And that brings me back to my initial question. If it's a safety concern, why wait all this time to get it on Commissioner's Court before it's removed?
I mean, I think the issue was they were trying to formulate a plan on how to get rid of it because it's not your typical, you bring a tow truck and pull it away. There was also, again, we need to find that proper legal authority. I know they were trying to find an owner. They tried some other routes to notify the owner and have them remove it, but that was unsuccessful.
We were hoping somebody would come pick it up. It's been there since May, probably. It's even been moved. It moved 0.6 of a mile further south than its original location, which was on the corner of Montana and Vista del Este, which was more of a traffic hazard. But since it moved down, not as much, but affording somebody the opportunity to come claim it or move it or whatever is what we've tried to do, and apparently it's just because it's gotten worse. It's now the whole frame is broken in half. I believe they've just left it alone.
Thank you. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Human Resources, item number 12. Approve and authorize the county judge to sign the third amendment to the interlocal agreement between the County of El Paso and the University of Texas Medical Branch, UTMB, for medical and dental services for the El Paso County Detention System, contract number 2017-0672. Funds are available in accounts GFSO Jail Annex Prof, SBC Med Jail, GF SODEN Profesh, SBC Med Jail.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Michael Martinez, Human Resources. The amendment before you basically extends the medical and dental contract with the current provider through the next year. If there's any questions or concerns, I can answer those. But it's a basic extension that clarifies some language as well and includes the inflator amount for the CPI.
Commissioners, questions? Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Public Works, item 13, postponed from October 23rd, 2017. Approve and authorize the new feed schedule for parks and special event programming as presented to the court at the special meeting of October 19th, 2017. Further, approve and authorize the implementation of the new parks and special event fee schedule with the sports park fees to take effect on January 1st, 2018, and all other fees to be effective November 1st, 2017.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Norma Palacios, Public Works Department. In an effort to be more effective and better serve the community, Public Works Department had presented the court some proposed changes to the existing fee schedule, which had been adopted in September of 2016. Those changes include the removal of the Columbus Day from the $5 entry fee to Escarate Park. It also included the addition of a 3-tier option to the parking fee for special events, an increase to the rental of the pavilion, as well as a housekeeping fee, an increase in the cost for commercial for-profit events, and the addition of a 2-tier option for nonprofit special event rentals, as well as the availability of additional staff members if requested. A non-refundable fee for applications and permits. A change in the opening and closing dates, as well as hours of operation for the county pools. A change in admission fees for Escarate Pool only. The addition of swimming lessons. The addition and removal of inventory items that are available for rental. At the sports park, we were recommending change to the number of games that are played per season, the addition of a non-refundable security deposit if tournament is not canceled within 30 days of the event, and a change in the schedule for the batting cages. Those were the changes that were proposed on October the 19th. Today we are requesting the approval of that schedule as it was proposed on the 19th, with the addition of a family Thursday night event at all pools. This is an event that takes place only on Thursdays once a week from 6 to 9, and we want to make that option available at all county pools. We would also like the approval and authorization of the implementation of the new park and special fee schedule with a change in the number of games at the sports park to take effect on January 1st, 2018, and all other fees to be effective on November the 1st. Any questions?
Commissioners, I know this is the third time that this comes before the court, and I believe we had some questions last week. I believe they've been addressed. And for the public, if you have any questions on these new fees, they are found in the backup and they're highlighted in red. They're not dramatic changes, so there shouldn't be a huge increase for anyone wanting to utilize any of our parks or services.
Yes, sir. And what I've done this time with the backup, I have 2 documents. One that addresses the changes all in one document, and then if the court approves it today, what the fees will look like for all events and facilities.
I move to approve the changes. Thank you.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. Palacios.
Judge, I would just like to thank Norma. Part of these fee changes came across from observations that they made, and they brought forward these changes, such as when someone uses the park and the parking fees, things of that nature. So I really appreciate, and then even our observance and tracking of usage, where we weren't getting the usage we hoped we would, and, you know, assessing something we implemented and bringing it back and making the appropriate changes. So I just wanted to tell Norma, thank you, her and her team.
Of the proceedings.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Item 14, approve and authorize the county judge to sign the construction contract with T-Dine Contractors Incorporated in the amount of $275,000 for the storm drain pipe project for the downtown detention facility, and change order number 1 in the amount of $9,559.61 for the relocation of unforeseen hidden pipes. Funds are available in account number CP Improve 01 Miscellaneous and CIP 17 PWSO Jail AM&T REN Repairs. Contract numbers 2017-0737 and 0738.
For the record, Norma Palacios, Public Works Department. This item is for the replacement of the original storm drain pipe that were installed when the jail was originally built, about 34 years ago. The purpose of the pipes are to transform all storm water from the roof at the top of the jail to the street drains that are available. Today, we're requesting approval of this item so we can get it completed.
Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon is absent. Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty.
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 15, approve and authorize the county judge to sign the resolutions for the El Paso Metropolitan Planning Organization Transportation Alternative Set Aside Call for Projects for Fiscal Year 2018. Contract number 2017-0764, 2017-0765.
Norma Palacios, Public Works Department. On October 16 of this year, Commissioners Court authorized the Public Works Department to submit an application for a grant for the set-aside programs. In this case, it's for sidewalks that have been identified. One is to be at the Desert Acceptance, and the other one is on Kingsway. Today, we're asking the court for authorization to allow the judge to sign the resolution. This is just part of the application process.
And Commissioners, I believe that we had signed one resolution earlier, either this year or last year, for this project when we accepted the funds, but MPO is requiring that we have two separate resolutions approved.
And this is actually a grant for the MPO. We had done some other resolutions for another project, but this one specifically for this application that was submitted at the end of last week.
Excellent. I move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis.
Aye.
Commissioner Leon is absent. Commissioner Stout.
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty.
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Purchasing item 16. Approve and authorize the purchasing agent to close out request for proposals number 16034, prisoner extradition and transportation services for the County of El Paso.
Good morning.
Good morning, Deborah Crejo, County Purchasing Agent. This is an older item that has finally received resolution. The Sheriff's Department has decided not to move forward with this award. They'd like a chance to upgrade the specifications, and at the time we see the new specifications, we'll determine the proper solicitation method. And if it is, again, an RFP, we'll come back and request permission. And if it's a sealed bid, we'll probably move forward and try to get that in place.
Questions, Commissioner?
Thank you very much. I just had a question regarding, what was the protest letter from the Bureau of Prisons that was mentioned in the backup? On July 8th, 2016.
I'm wondering if I have that in my backup. Is there someone from the department that can speak to this? Oh, thank you.
Ryan Urute, Lieutenant with the Sheriff's Office, Criminal Investigations. The protest was a name change by one of the vendors during the bid process. The company changed names in the middle of the process, from what I understand.
And the BOP had problems with that?
Yes, and so we're going out for a rebid. We did find a couple of things that we would like to reconsider, have them rebid. One is age of juveniles. Under Texas law, it's 17, and they recognize a juvenile as 17. So we want that changed, so we would transport them at the rate of an adult, because they are considered an adult at 17 in the state of Texas. And then everything else would stay the same, Judge. We're cutting down on the use of the, I'm sorry, Commissioner, on the use of the contractor. We've cut down marginally this year, trying to consolidate trips with our detention staff that's already going out and bringing people back in. In some cases, they are cheaper, so we will utilize them in those cases, but the cost comparisons are done before we send out the request to the contractor.
Thank you. Any questions? Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leone? Aye. Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Hagerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 17, award of bid number 17042, paving rock materials on an as-needed basis for the County of El Paso to Job Materials LP, El Paso, Texas. Funding is available in account SR R&B Road Resurfacing. Purchasing approved on October 25th, 2017.
Good morning.
Deborah Crejo, County Purchasing Agent. In this case, we are simply asking for the supplemental paving to be awarded to the low bidder. And if you'll see, we have broken out the class down there, so you can see that it is approximately $650,000.
Any questions, commissioners? Commissioner Leon?
I've got a couple of questions. Because we're dealing with pretty expensive bids, and not only for this one, for the next ones that are coming up. Do we have are these companies bonded for these projects?
Yes.
They are?
They are required to be.
I know that when we had a previous one, they were not bonded. Did our procedure change just recently?
I'm not sure which one you're talking about, but the bonding requirements actually are statutory. And I know in some cases, if they're below a certain amount, they are not required to do bonding. I think Norma, did you have something?
Norma Palacios, Public Works. Is this for the overlay paving, Commissioner, in the past? Because it was handled through a PO. It was not a contract. There was no contract. And this one, the overlay will be handled through a contract.
So if it's handled through a PO, then they're not subject to being bonded?
No, actually by statute, it's handled by amount. Bonding is required at certain amounts in certain projects. I don't have the statute in front of me, but I am happy to get that information before you.
No, it's okay. So is there a threshold then where the company is not required to be bonded?
Yes, I believe it's under 100,000.
Okay.
But
thank you.
that is in certain cases, and I would really like a chance to either get the information from the statute.
I think what Norma is, thank you, Deborah, on the amount. We can require bonding below that amount, I believe, if we contractually enter into it. Christina can correct me if I'm wrong. And I think Norma is speaking to, we're now, where the past practice was to get a PO for those services, we're now requiring a contract so that we can require additional protections such as bonding.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and we should be entering into contracts for these type of services, if you will. There's certain requirements and standards and expectations that the county can put in those agreements, and so it better protects the county as well.
Okay, thank you.
And we're in the middle of a transition in how these are handled to offer more protections for the county.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you did state that this in particular is bonded, and in the future we're going to be looking at bonding every company that does business with us insofar as the paving aspect of it.
And just for clarification, if it is a materials only, that can go on a PO. That's a different, we're looking to contract for services and make sure the county's protected.
Okay, thank you.
We have a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 18, award of bid number 17043, paving emulsion materials on an as-needed basis for the County of El Paso to Holly Frontier Refining and Marketing, LLC, Albuquerque, New Mexico, in the amount of $1.67 per gallon. Funding is available in account SR R&B Road Resurfacing. Purchasing approved on October 25th, 2017.
Deborah Crejo, County Purchasing Agent. Once again, for supplemental paving projects, we are requesting the award to the lowest bidder. And this one is estimated at the $1.67 per gallon. At the estimated gallons, we think it's going to come to about 1.3 million. And everything is in accordance with the bid, and so I don't anticipate any problems.
Questions, commissioners? Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 19, award of bid number 17046, County's 2017 Road and Bridge Supplemental Paving Project to Allied Paving Company, El Paso, Texas. Funding is available in account SR R&B Road Resurfacing. Purchasing approved on October 25th, 2017.
Deborah Crejo, County Purchasing Agent. In this case, we're going for supplemental paving, and with 3 line items broken down, we believe the award will come to about 2.6 million, and this is also to the lowest responsive bidder.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Grant applications.
Thank you very much.
Approve the submission of county grant applications as listed and described. If awarded, all grant award agreements will be brought back to the Commissioners Court for final acceptance and approval. Item 20, approve and adopt a resolution supporting the county's application to the Texas Indigent Defense Commission's 2018 Formula Grant Program. Further, approve and authorize the county judge to sign the 2018 El Paso County Resolution for the Indigent Defense Grant Program and authorize the online grant application submission. Contract number 2017-0692.
Good morning.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Bill Cox with your Public Defender's Office. This is an annual grant application the county makes to the Texas Indigent Defense Commission. It reimburses El Paso County for a percentage of what we paid in the prior fiscal year for indigent defense costs. There are no additional costs to the county. It's a matter of completing the resolution and making the online application, and then we will receive the payments next year in 4 quarterly payments. TIDC estimates we'll be receiving approximately $844,000.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Who made the motion, please?
I did.
Thank you. And then the judge seconded it? Thank you. Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Budget and Finance, item 21. Approve amendment number 3 to the County of El Paso's 2017-2018 operating budget. This budgetary amendment will increase grants by $3,568,942.97, thus increasing the overall budget of $413,191,629 to $416,760,571.97.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Wally Hargrove from the Office of Budget and Fiscal Policy. The general fund portion of this amendment, I am asking that I'm going to pull that back. It's Journal 1106. It's the first two lines of your budget amendment. We are looking for a more appropriate funding source that will follow up on a subsequent amendment. So nothing from the general fund today. The balance of the amendment is within the grant funds. It's the acceptance of a federal grant pass-through from the state, $33,379.17. This is for Homeland Security Sustaining Special Grant for first responder capabilities. $1,400 is for operating. The balance of $31,979 is for equipment. It is the Nutrition Meal Program 2018 grant. It is a federal pass-through the state in the grant in the amount of $1,640,704. This is for congregate meals, just over $553,000. Homebound meals for a Title 111 of $125,000, and state agency nutrition program for $115,000. Contribution also, I'm sorry. That the state agency is a revenue side. Contribution from the city that you approved in a prior agenda, $66,034. Unclassified revenues of $150,000. Program income for $100,000, and transfer in from your grants from general fund for $200,000 for a total nutrition program of $2,950,375. That's all for contract services for the purchase of meals. Grant passed through the state, $105,250, the El Paso County Mobile Identification System 2018. This is all for equipment in the same amount. A federal grant for $10,000 coming through the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force for $100,000 for the $1 million 2018 grant. That is just a name, not the amount. Special Revenue Grant, Scrap Metal 2018, federal grant in the amount of $10,000, all set up for salaries overtime. Likewise, the prior grant for $1 million 2018 was a $10,000 overtime grant. Reaward of the 2018 This, That, and the Third grant, federal funds, $25,000, all covering sheriff's overtime. Also from Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force. 2018 Sangre Mala grant, federal grant in the amount of $10,000, all paying for overtime. State grant in the amount of $309,140 for the Rural Transit 2018 state grant. Also includes program income of $25,000. That's covering salaries and fringe benefit related to the operations of the program. Most of the grant, which is $269,160, is contract services for the outsourcing of the service under the Rural Transit program. $10,000 for a grant for overtime. It's federal funds. It's a Tool Time 2018 grant. $10,000 grant, walk-ins welcome, also from the Organized Drug Crime Enforcement Task Force, covering sheriff's overtime in the same amount, $10,000. Emergency Food and Shelter grant, $70,778, coming in from the federal government. That's covering support assistance in the same amount. And that is all of your amendments for special revenues grant, increasing the budget a little over $3.5 million. We have a transfer within special revenues. It is neutral to the budget from the County Clerk's Vital Statistics Fund, reducing the operating budget general from $6,800, setting up contract services in the same amount for $6,800 to cover the contract service costs of miracle delivery for each of the satellite offices. Would ask for your favorable consideration.
Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge Vogt?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Executive session. Commissioners Court will now recess into executive session to discuss the following items pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.087 and 551.071. That would be items 22A through 22J. The court will reconvene to take official action.
Commissioner Andrew Haggerty would like to invite you to his weekly breakfast meeting that takes place every Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. at Danny's Diner, located at 4690 Trans Mountain Road. Every week he has a different speaker who will be discussing topics of interest for the community. So if you live in the Northeast, West Side, or anywhere else in the county, come and join us for the breakfast meeting.
The County of El Paso Public Works Department is offering sandbags at no cost or requirements to the public and are available 24 hours a day. The location of the county facilities are the following: Road and Bridge Fabens Warehouse, 1331 North Fabens Street, Fabens, Texas 79838. Road and Bridge Canutillo Warehouse, 191 Canutillo Avenue, Canutillo, Texas 79835. Road and Bridge Montana Warehouse, 14698 Van Lane, El Paso, Texas 79938.
The Information Technology Department would like to remind users not to take the bait. Phishing is an attempt to obtain sensitive information such as usernames, passwords, and credit card details, often for malicious reasons by masquerading as a trustworthy entity in electronic communications. Phishing emails may contain links to websites that are infected with malware. Remember, do not open attachments or click on links from untrusted sources. Never send personal information in an email, and keep your firewall and antivirus software updated.
Did you know the County of El Paso's Purchasing Department is responsible for ensuring that all items and services needed by various county departments are purchased in the manner required by the state of Texas? Whether through formal sealed bids or smaller dollar quotations, the county purchasing team is dedicated to finding the best contracting return on your taxpayer dollars. Additionally, the purchasing department is responsible for the tracking of inventory within the county and properly disposing surplus through public auctions. For questions about how to become a vendor and compete for county contracts, or to learn more about public auctions, please contact us at telephone number 915-546-2048.
Did you know that you can save money on the cost of your medications? And doing so is easy. In 2015, the County of El Paso launched the prescription discount card program from coast to coast. The cards are available to all El Paso County residents free of charge, and everyone qualifies. You can pick up a card at any county office location, Walgreens, Walmart, CVS, or Target pharmacies, or simply print the card at www.coastrx.com. Happy savings! Did you know that the County of El Paso's fixed asset control and inventory disposal is handled through the purchasing department? Throughout the course of each business year, the county holds live public auctions to dispose of aged equipment, vehicles, furniture, and other items that are no longer needed. To find out about upcoming auctions or to learn more about the county's inventory disposal process, contact the purchasing department at telephone number 915-546-2048.
Sheriff Richard D. Wiles, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Community Services Section, and Explorer Post 2005 present the 8th Annual Haunted House. For a spooky thrill, visit the Sheriff's Office Haunted House at 3850 Justice Drive. Opening day is Friday, October the 13th, and will be open every Friday through Sunday to include Halloween Day for the month of October. Operating hours will be 6 p.m. through 12 p.m. $10 for adults, $8 for children 12 and under, with everyone getting $1 off with a canned food donation. All proceeds to benefit the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, Explorer Post 2005, a nonprofit organization.
The 346 District Court Judge Angie Juarez Barril started the El Paso Veterans Treatment Court program in 2012 for veterans and active service members that have been arrested and charged with a felony or misdemeanor criminal offense. To be considered for the specialty court, the statutory criteria includes be a veteran or current member of the United States Armed Forces, including a member of the Reserves, National Guard, or State Guard, and suffer from a brain injury, mental illness, or mental disorder, including PTSD, or be a victim of military sexual trauma, all occurring or resulting from military service. Call Sylvia Serna, Veterans Program Director, at 915-546-2119, or email her at sserna@epcounty.com for any information.
Financial Recovery is a division under the Budget and Fiscal Policy Department. The Financial Recovery Division regains monies from those who have exhausted resources throughout the judicial process. The authorization for the recovery of spent resources is by court order. These are resources initially funded by taxpayers. Financial Recovery Division's goal is to assist in making the county and taxpayers whole by replenishing funds into the budget to optimize services to the public. For more information, please visit the El Paso County website. Commissioner Andrew Haggerty would like to invite you to his weekly breakfast meeting that takes place every Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. at Danny's Diner, located at 4690 Trans Mountain Road. Every week he has a different speaker who will be discussing topics of interest for the community. So if you live in the Northeast, West Side, or anywhere else in the county, come and join us for the breakfast meeting.
The County of El Paso Public Works Department is offering sandbags at no cost or requirements to the public and are available 24 hours a day. The location of the county facilities are the following: Road and Bridge Fabens Warehouse, 1331 North Fabens Street, Fabens, Texas 79838. Road and Bridge Canutillo Warehouse, 191 Canutillo Avenue, Canutillo, Texas 79835. Road and Bridge Montana Warehouse, 14698 Van Lane, El Paso, Texas 79938.
The Information Technology Department would like to remind users not to take the bait. Phishing is an attempt to obtain sensitive information such as usernames, passwords, and credit card details, often for malicious reasons by masquerading as a trustworthy entity in electronic communications. Phishing emails may contain links to websites that are infected with malware. Remember, do not open attachments or click on links from untrusted sources. Never send personal information in an email, and keep your firewall and antivirus software updated.
Did you know the County of El Paso's Purchasing Department is responsible for ensuring that all items and services needed by various county departments are purchased in the manner required by the state of Texas? Whether through formal sealed bids or smaller dollar quotations, the county purchasing team is dedicated to finding the best contracting return on your taxpayer dollars. Additionally, the purchasing department is responsible for the tracking of inventory within the county and properly disposing surplus through public auctions. For questions about how to become a vendor and compete for county contracts, or to learn more about public auctions, please contact us at telephone number 915-546-2048.
Did you know that you can save money on the cost of your medications? And doing so is easy. In 2015, the County of El Paso launched the prescription discount card program from coast to coast. The cards are available to all El Paso County residents free of charge, and everyone qualifies. You can pick up a card at any county office location, Walgreens, Walmart, CVS, or Target pharmacies, or simply print the card at www.coastrx.com. Happy savings! Did you know that the County of El Paso's fixed asset control and inventory disposal is handled through the purchasing department? Throughout the course of each business year, the county holds live public auctions to dispose of aged equipment, vehicles, furniture, and other items that are no longer needed. To find out about upcoming auctions or to learn more about the county's inventory disposal process, contact the Purchasing Department at telephone number 915-546-2048.
Sheriff Richard D. Wiles, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Community Services Section, and Explorer Post 2005 present the 8th Annual Haunted House. For a spooky thrill, visit the Sheriff's Office Haunted House at 3850 Justice Drive. Opening day is Friday, October the 13th, and will be open every Friday through Sunday to include Halloween Day for the month of October. Operating hours will be 6 p.m. through 12 p.m. $10 for adults, $8 for children 12 and under, with everyone getting $1 off with a canned food donation. All proceeds to benefit the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, Explorer Post 2005, a nonprofit organization.
The 346 District Court Judge Angie Juarez Barril started the El Paso Veterans Treatment Court program in 2012 for veterans and active service members that have been arrested and charged with a felony or misdemeanor criminal offense. To be considered for the specialty court, the statutory criteria includes be a veteran or current member of the United States Armed Forces, including a member of the Reserves, National Guard, or State Guard, and suffer from a brain injury, mental illness, or mental disorder, including PTSD, or be a victim of military sexual trauma, all occurring or resulting from military service. Call Sylvia Serna, Veterans Program Director, at 915-546-2119, or email her at sserna@epcounty.com for any information.
Financial Recovery is a division under the Budget and Fiscal Policy Department. The Financial Recovery Division regains monies from those who have exhausted resources throughout the judicial process. The authorization for the recovery of spent resources is by court order. These are resources initially funded by taxpayers. Financial Recovery Division's goal is to assist in making the county and taxpayers whole by replenishing funds into the budget to optimize services to the public. For more information, please visit the El Paso County website. Commissioner Andrew Haggerty would like to invite you to his weekly breakfast meeting that takes place every Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. at Denny's Diner, located at 4690 Trans Mountain Road. Every week he has a different speaker who will be discussing topics of interest for the community. So if you live in the Northeast, West Side, or anywhere else in the county, come and join us for the breakfast meeting.
The County of El Paso Public Works Department is offering sandbags at no cost or requirements to the public and are available 24 hours a day. The location of the county facilities are the following: Road and Bridge Fabens Warehouse, 1331 North Fabens Street, Fabens, Texas 79838. Road and Bridge Canutillo Warehouse, 191 Canutillo Avenue, Canutillo, Texas 79835. Road and Bridge Montana Warehouse, 14698 Van Lane, El Paso, Texas 79938.
The Information Technology Department would like to remind users not to take the bait. Phishing is an attempt to obtain sensitive information such as usernames, passwords, and credit card details, often for malicious reasons by masquerading as a trustworthy entity in electronic communications. Phishing emails may contain links to websites that are infected with malware. Remember, do not open attachments or click on links from untrusted sources. Never send personal information in an email, and keep your firewall and antivirus software updated.
Did you know the County of El Paso's Purchasing Department is responsible for ensuring that all items and services needed by various county departments are purchased in the manner required by the state of Texas? Whether through formal sealed bids or smaller dollar quotations, the county purchasing team is dedicated to finding the best contracting return on your taxpayer dollars. Additionally, the Purchasing Department is responsible for the tracking of inventory within the county and properly disposing surplus through public auctions. For questions about how to become a vendor and compete for county contracts, or to learn more about public auctions, please contact us at telephone number 915-546-2048.
Did you know that you can save money on the cost of your medications? And doing so is easy. In 2015, the County of El Paso launched the prescription discount card program from coast to coast. The cards are available to all El Paso County residents free of charge, and everyone qualifies. You can pick up a card at any county office location, Walgreens, Walmart, CVS, or Target pharmacies, or simply print the card at www.coastrx.com. Happy savings! Did you know that the County of El Paso's fixed asset control and inventory disposal is handled through the Purchasing Department? Throughout the course of each business year, the county holds live public auctions to dispose of aged equipment, vehicles, furniture, and other items that are no longer needed. To find out about upcoming auctions or to learn more about the county's inventory disposal process, contact the Purchasing Department at telephone number 915-546-2048.
Sheriff Richard D. Wiles, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Community Services Section, and Explorer Post 2005 present the 8th Annual Haunted House. For a spooky thrill, visit the Sheriff's Office Haunted House at 3850 Justice Drive. Opening day is Friday, October the 13th, and will be open every Friday through Sunday to include Halloween Day for the month of October. Operating hours will be 6 p.m. through 12 p.m. $10 for adults, $8 for children 12 and under, with everyone getting $1 off with a canned food donation. All proceeds to benefit the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, Explorer Post 2005, a nonprofit organization.
The 346th District Court Judge Angie Juarez Barril started the El Paso Veterans Treatment Court program in 2012 for veterans and active service members that have been arrested and charged with a felony or misdemeanor criminal offense. To be considered for the specialty court, the statutory criteria includes be a veteran or current member of the United States Armed Forces, including a member of the Reserves, National Guard, or State Guard, and suffer from a brain injury, mental illness, or mental disorder, including PTSD, or be a victim of military sexual trauma, all occurring or resulting from military service. Call Sylvia Serna, Veterans Program Director at 915-546-2119, or email her at sserna@epcounty.com for any information.
Financial Recovery is a division under the Budget and Fiscal Policy Department. The Financial Recovery Division regains monies from those who have exhausted resources throughout the judicial process. The authorization for the recovery of spent resources is by court order. These are resources initially funded by taxpayers. Financial Recovery Division's goal is to assist in making the county and taxpayers whole by replenishing funds into the budget to optimize services to the public. For more information, please visit the El Paso County website.
to regular open session at 12:28 p.m. Item 23, postponed October 16, 2017. Discuss and take appropriate action regarding a Chapter 381 agreement with Project King. Could we please have a motion to delete this item and the corresponding executive session item 22B, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 24, approve and authorize the county judge to sign a 381 economic development agreement with SDI Technologies Incorporated, SDI ABP LLC, and KID Designs Incorporated, contract number 2017-0731.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. We're requesting that the court authorize the approval of this contract 381 agreement with SDI Technologies, SDI ABP, and KIT Designs for a 5-year, 50% personal and real property agreement.
Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 25, postponed from October 23, 2017. Discuss and take action on the pending claim of Rodolfo F. Rodriguez, Sr., County Attorney File Number 023317LC.
Good afternoon, Kevin McCary, Assistant County Attorney. I need a motion to authorize the county judge to sign the settlement agreement in the amount of $3,006.53.
I so move.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 26, discuss and take action on the pending EEOC claim and potential litigation of charge number 453-2017-00418, County Attorney's File Number 017417EE. Could we please have a motion to postpone this item and the corresponding executive session item 22E for 1 week, please?
So move.
Second.
Was that Commissioner Stout?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 27, discuss and take action on the pending claim of Paula Alvarado, County Attorney's File Number 000317LC. Could we please have a motion to delete this item and the corresponding executive session item 22G?
So move.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 28, discuss and take appropriate action on the pending litigation regarding El Paso County's intervention in the El Paso Electric Company's application to change rates. PUC number 46831, County Attorney's File Number 008117AA.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Jed Unterrecker, Assistant County Attorney. I would like to request a motion to approve and authorize Scott Smith of Davidson, Troilo, Ream, and Garza PC to sign the final settlement stipulation in El Paso County's intervention in the El Paso Electric Company's application to change rates, County Attorney File Number CA 8117AA.
So moved.
Second.
So that was Commissioner Pettis and Commissioner Stout.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Could we please have a motion to delete executive session item 22F, please?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge vote.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 29, discuss the status of and take action on the pending litigation regarding the Sports Park renovations project, County Attorney's File Number LC 13062.
Good afternoon, Judge. Commissioners, Jed Unterrecker, Assistant County Attorney. I am requesting a motion to approve and authorize the County Attorney to sign an amended legal services agreement with Ainsa Hudson LLP regarding the Sports Park renovations project, County Attorney File Number LC 13062.
So moved.
Second?
The judge made the motion and Commissioner Leon seconded?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge Vogt?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 30, discuss and take appropriate action regarding the litigation in the case regarding El Paso County, Texas, and the state of Texas versus Volkswagen Group of America Incorporated. County Attorney's case number 024615PL, cause number 2015 DCV 3910.
Good afternoon, Judge, Commissioners. Jed Unterrecker, Assistant County Attorney. I'm requesting a motion to approve and authorize the county judge to sign a waiver of claims for injunctive relief as part of the In Re Volkswagen Clean Diesel Marketing, Sales Practice, and Products Liability litigation.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Pettis?
Aye.
Commissioner Leon?
Aye.
Commissioner Stout?
Aye.
Commissioner Haggerty?
Aye.
Judge Vogt?
Aye.
That completes today's agenda.
Thank you so much.
The meeting is adjourned at 12:34 p.m.
Commissioner Andrew Haggerty would like to invite you to his weekly breakfast meeting that takes place every Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. at Danny's Diner, located at 4690 Trans Mountain Road. Every week he has a different speaker who will be discussing topics of interest for the community. So if you live in the Northeast, West Side, or anywhere else in the county, come and join us for the breakfast meeting.